fight. Trying to see where the life take me, so I roll the dice. Look up to no one else, but yeah, I was shy. I got real power, Hebrew Israelite.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse number 12. Keep the Sabbath day, sanctify it as the Lord. 1 minute for the Lord, brother. Escucha. Take a flyer. Up there. I read that again. Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 12. Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee. Shalom, brother. You know what? 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. Right. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Right, so this is the holy Sabbath, where the Lord commanded us to come out and to keep his holy days, to come out to magnify and to glorify his name. Let's get Psalms 29 and verse number 1. All right, and this truth is about magnifying and glorify the name of the Most High. All right, doing all you can to make sure that this living water spreads throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Let's get Psalms 29 and 1.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 29 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Give unto the Lord, O ye mighty. Give unto the Lord glory and strength.
The Lord said,
Give unto the Lord glory and strength.
and the Lord said, give unto him glory and strength. Let's get Psalms 145 and verse 1 real quick. So again, we're out here to get a Most High glory and strength. All right, God forbid we just come out here and do the bare minimum. Holding camp for 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Every brother teaching for them 20 minutes and we pack up and go home. Not enduring the elements. Not enduring the so-called cold. Not enduring the scoffing and the backbiting of Israel. No, the Lord said, come out here and glorify his name. Because like we always say, if we don't do it, I mean, if we don't do it, no one else is going to do it. Right. If the so-called black and Hispanic man doesn't come out on the highways and byways and wake up the lost sheep, you're going to leave room for all type of spirits. Right. Next thing you know, instead of us up here, it's Christian pastors. Hey, brother, you see yourself on the sign?
2 minutes.
How you doing, brother? Take a flyer, brother. Take a flyer. All right, that's a perfect example. If we don't do it, who else is going to do it? You got brothers saying, hey, stop giving people flyers. Stop fishing. Stop trying to wake up the lost sheep. And again, this is work. That's why we have to put our honor to doing the work of the Most High. Right. What you holding? Psalms 145? Let's bring this out. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 145 and verse number 1.
Bring it out.
I will extol thee, oh my God, O King, right, and I will bless thy name. King David said he will extol the Most High's name. Right. He said, I will bless thy name. You know? Forever and ever. How long? Forever and ever. Only on the Sabbath. Forever and ever. That got to be our mindset, man. Bless the Most High and extol the name of the Most High forever and ever. Right. You know? Every day. Every what? Every day. Every day our mind has to be focused on magnifying the name of the Lord. If that's not your mindset, you got to change your mindset. Right. If your mind is not on how many videos you can drop, how many breakdowns or council calls, or anything that benefits the ministry, recording, editing certain things, fishing, doing whatever you, for the sisters making garments, making coats, like how you read about in Acts 9th chapter. If your mind is not on glorifying and extolling the Most High, you got to self-examine it. Right. All right, your mind shouldn't be on 2K all day, or just work 24/7. Right. Here it is, the whole 24 hours that went past, and not a thought came across on how you can glorify the Most High. Every day you should be thinking about and conjuring up different ways to magnify the name of the Lord. Right. And again, that's manyfold. Right? Read Romans the 12th chapter. There's many ways for you to put your brick in and build up this spiritual temple. All right, so read on. Every day will I bless thee, right, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is the Shalaki. Great is Yahweh, and greatly to be praised. And his greatness is unsurable. Right, and his greatness is unsurable. And greatly to be praised to see. Right. So how much more should we read that and put our foot forward to doing this work? Making sure that this truth goes out throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Give me Revelation chapter 7 and verse number 1. Bring us out in Ezekiel 47.
It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 47 and verse number 1.
Bring it out.
Afterward he brought me again unto the door of the house, and behold, waters issue out from under the threshold of the house eastward. Right. For the forefront of the house.
Hey brothers, I got 1 minute. What's brother? All right, you can read on.
It reads, For the forefront of the house stood toward the east, and the waters came down from under heaven from the right side of the house at the south side of the altar. Then brought he me out of the way of the gate northward, and led me about the way without unto the outer gate by the way that looketh eastward. And behold, there ran out waters on the right side.
And the waters represent the words of the Most High. So you have the words of the Lord running out from the temple. What's the temple? That's the Most High. In the name of Yahushua. So the Lord has his living waters throughout the earth right now. Right? This is not the season where it's just a drought. Right? And the words of the Lord was precious, like in the time of Samuel. No, these are the days where the Most High has the servants, the prophets, his evangelists all back on the earth, his teachers, his ministers.
Right.
And this is the best time for you to come and get this water. Right? It's nice and cold, got the ice in it, and it's dry and thirsty land. I mean, so you would be a fool to just see the waters as you're dying and continue to walk past them. So again, the Lord, he has his waters out here. Right. And if you're not drinking all the waters right now, you're going to thirst even more in that day. So read on.
It reads, And when the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits. Right. And he brought me through the waters. The waters were to the ankles. Right. Again, he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters. The waters were to the knees.
So once upon a time, this truth was at the ankles. You had the so-called One West school. Before that, even during the time of the early 1900s, you had certain men that knew that there was Israel. Right. Doctrine may have been a little bit off, but men knew that there was Israel back then. And they discovered Northern Kingdom was the Israelites. You got the One West school. Now that waters are starting to increase, the words of the Lord going throughout the four corners. Right. Now it's all throughout Babylon. Right. Now it's all throughout the four corners of the earth. You got camps in so-called Trinidad, Europe. Right. You have camps in Brazil doing the work in different tongues. So this is the words of the Lord increasing, going from the ankles to the knees. And if your mind is not on getting as much water as you can, your mind is bad. And again, if we're not going to be out here giving the water, so what's it going to be out here? All right, again, you might have Christian pastors coming up, teaching on the highways and byways, deceiving the sheep. Right? You got Islam and these different doctors coming up and feeding Israel these different wicked ideologies. You got the heathens. Right? God forbid we let the heathens just give our people the false waters. Right, so read on.
Reading on. And he measured 1,000 and brought me through. The waters were to the loins. Right. Afterward, he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not pass over.
Right, and that's the days that we're living in now. The rivers were the waters you can't even pass over. Right, like during the time of Joshua, where the Jordan River overflowed its banks. And that's how we got to be on a spiritual level. Right. Make sure that Babylon the Great is filled with the living waters. Right. All right, give me Psalms 42 and verse number 1, real quick. Quote that in Revelation. Give me Psalms 42 and 1 and Psalms 63 and verse number 1. Because Babylon is a dry and thirsty land. Babylon is that wilderness. All right, I wish I could read it. You can also hold Ezekiel 37 and verse number 1. So read this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 42 and verse number 1.
Bring it out.
As the hart panteth out of the water brooks, right, so panteth my soul after thee.
Right, and our soul got to pant after the Most High. When you pant, that's like a dog when it's thirsty for that water. Right. Just got done taking it on that walk. Now it's panting, tongue out his mouth, breathing hard. And that's how you are when you pant after the Most High. Right. So King David said, my soul panteth after thee. Read on.
It reads, my soul thirsteth for God, right, for living God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? Right. My tears have been my meat day and night. Right.
And David said his soul and his spirit is panting before the Most High. Right. Thirsting for the words. Hey, in this truth, you got to thirst for the Most High. You can never get too thirsty. You can never get full. Right. You can never just say, man, I think I drunk enough. Let me go ahead and take a break. Right? There's no spiritual fast in this truth. All right, you can't be saying, man, I just read all week, been on fire. Let me take a fast, spiritual fast. Now, next thing you know, you stop drinking other waters. You stop eating this spiritual meat. That's off. No, there's no spiritual fast in this truth. You gotta always be drinking constantly of the waters of the Most High. Read this in Psalm 63.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 63 and verse 1.
Right.
Oh God, thou art my God. Early will I seek thee.
Right.
My soul thirsteth for thee.
Right.
My flesh longeth for thee in a dry and thirsty land.
What is Babylon?
In a dry and thirsty
What
land.
is this wilderness?
In a dry and thirsty land.
So the Lord said, through the Spirit, King David said his soul thirsted for the Most High. In a dry and thirsty land. Where what?
Where no water is.
Right, and there's no water in this land. Again, you have all different false doctrines and ideologies and wickedness, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and all other pagan wickedness. That's why we have to be those living words, or the ones that push out these living words throughout the four corners of the earth, to make sure our people get that flesh back on them, right? To make sure our bones are covered and that we're nourished. Give me Revelation 22, verse number 1. You can drop that. Give me Ezekiel chapter 37.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 1.
Right.
The hand of Yahweh was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord,
Right.
and set me down in the midst of a valley which was full of bones,
Right.
and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley.
Right, and it's that open valley where many bones are. Hey, brother, you got 1 minute for the Lord? Hispanic? Hispanic? Hola, Biblia? Hola, Jesus? Right, read this.
There were very many in the open valley,
Right.
and lo, they were very dry.
Right, when you see how people walking to and fro, but now they're carrying the word of what's going on the earth, that's what you call a dry bone.
Right.
Here it is, World War III. It's on the rise. You just had, I believe that was Syria. They just raised up that red flag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the 5th time they did that in history.
Love rain.
Right, they raised up that red flag and said we're about to make history in the earth and take back the land that's been conquered by the so-called Israelites. They're coming out and saying this and saying these things. More nations are getting added on to the to BRIC. More nations leaving NATO. Here it is, World War III is on the rise. The stage is being set, and Jake's still getting high as hell in the back seat, smoking a blunt, trying to freak off with different women. And you got the damn Epstein list coming out. The Lord exposing these different men. And you got Eve still trying to freak off at twerk parties. I was on social media the other day, and I seen a flyer. It said twerk fest, twerk party. So you got Eve promoting twerkism, while all hell is breaking loose.
Right.
And again, that's what you call a dry bone, right? So our people's minds is not right in the last day, but that's why we out here.
Right.
That's why the Lord got his servants back out, just like he did in the days of old, to give out these different warnings, and to feed, and to clothe, and to give our people thirst and drink. So read on.
And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
Right.
And I answered, O Yahweh God, thou knowest.
Right.
Again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the words of Yahweh.
Right.
Thus said Yahweh God unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you,
Right.
and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you.
So the Lord is getting ready to bring up flesh upon our people, just like in the days of old. It's just like during the time of Solomon, during the time of King David, where we had that flesh upon our bones. Moving in the spirit of Hezekiah, right? Moving in the spirit of Josiah, the righteous, right? Moving in Noah. And when you move in these different spirits, that's how you know that you have that covering back on you. Give me Ezekiel 36 and verse 26. Leave on Ezekiel 36 and verse number 26. To get our spirit, or to get our bones covered with that flesh again. To get that protection like we had. Not from carnal things, but from the Most High. Read this.
Ezekiel 36 and verse 26.
Bring it out.
A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit
Right.
will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you an heart of flesh.
A what?
A heart of flesh.
And now the Lord's giving us that heart of flesh in the last days. And when we when we passed through that bond of the covenant, that's when we really had our heart of flesh. And stopped being those dry bones that we are. You got Revelation 22? It's Revelation 22 and verse 1.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
And he shewed me a pure river of water, of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. And in the midst of the tree of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations.
So the Lord, or John through the Spirit said he's seen that water, right? That crystal clear water. Now any man that has wisdom that's down to thirst, he sees that water, he's gonna drink it. He's not gonna look at it and say, hey, man, I do like some good water, let me keep it pushing. My eyes may be deceiving me. No, a man with wisdom, he's gonna use. Oh, come on. A man with wisdom, he's gonna use that opportunity to drink of those waters, to not let his soul thirst on a physical and spiritual level. All right, what else you want? Revelation 7. No, Revelation 7 and 1.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, beholding the 4 winds. So holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea.
So the Lord has given a decree to these angels. Don't hurt the earth, nor the sea, read on,
nor these trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
Right, and us doing this work, that's how we get out of here. It's through us sealing the hope for elect. Make sure flyers is going out abundantly. Make sure videos is being dropped abundantly. Make sure brothers clearing that storage in their phone to drop more videos. And these different things. And that's how you benefit the ministry of the Most High. Read on.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000.
Right, so once that number, that 144,000 is sealed, that's our deliverance. That's when we get delivered out of this thing and captured up with the Most High to everlasting life. But Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 16. That's what I want to. Isaiah chapter 11 and verse number 16, and that's our deliverance. Right when that 7th trumpet sound.
It's the book of Isaiah chapter 11 and verse number 16. And it reads, and there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that I came up out of the land of Egypt. And in the day thou shalt say, O Yahweh, I will praise thee, though thou wast angry with me, thine anger is turned away.
Right, and that's how it's going to be when the Most High delivers us. Right, like a highway out of Egypt. And what is Egypt? That's Babylon the Great. And that highway is going to be those chariots, that flight that we take to the other side, back to Jerusalem. And on the carnal level, you had, back in ancient Egypt, you had the King's Highway, where it was a massive trade highway through Egypt and these different other land masses. When we tried to pass by, we go into the history during, I believe that was Exodus, the 17th chapter. Tried to pass by the land of Edom through the King's Highway, and they wouldn't let us by. But through the Spirit, guess what? The Lord is going to have us go on a different highway, via the sky through the angels. And he's going to come like a dove, send his doves to take us back to our homeland. But again, that cannot happen. At least we do the work of the Most High and seal the servants of the Most High God. So bring us out what you got.
Book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse number 1.
Bring it out.
And it reads, and when the day of Pentecost was fully come, there were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven, as a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues, like as a fire, and it sat upon each of them. Verse 6. Now when this was noise abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language.
Right, and again, back then you had every man during the time of Pentecost. Everyone came together in Jerusalem, and the Lord sent the Spirit down to where everyone was speaking in their own language.
Right.
And you can understand what each person was saying through the Spirit. Yeah, 1 minute for the Lord, brother. How you doing, brother? You see something that sound? Brother, real quick, one verse. You see something that sound?
One verse.
Verse of the day.
One verse.
Verse of the day. All right, you see something that sound, brother? What else? On this. It's all good. You see your race on that sound? The so-called race, what this world will call you. Nationality. Your race.
I'm Mexican.
Mexican?
Yeah.
Now, do you believe in the Bible? Do you believe in the Bible? Now, in the Bible, do you read about the Mexicans? Do you find that word Mexican written up in the Bible? We never read that part yet. Well, let me tell you this. When you read the Bible, just turn the sign on real quick. The Lord created 18 nations of people. And this for y'all too. Y'all can come up. All right. The Lord created, brother, you listening? Now, the Lord created 18 nations of people. Everyone that the Lord talked about in the book of Genesis and these different nations all throughout the Bible that's still here today. What nation would you come from these descendants right here? Because everyone in this earth comes from someone on the side. Who's your ancestors that you come from the Bible? If thou canst tell. Greek?
Spanish.
Well, no, not Spanish. All right, that goes back to the Japhites when you're going to it. But you will be an Israelite according to the Bible.
Right.
Now, have you heard of the Mexicans being a special people? Their work ethic, the different empires that they had. You never heard about the empires? The Aztecs? You heard about the Aztecs. Now, how was the Aztecs able to build such a vast empire when you had certain people saying that they're the so-called, in layman's terms, they're like a third world country? They're not so-called civilized. You got in history, people say that the Aztecs weren't civilized, but yet you guys had the best empire during that time. Why is that? Because y'all would be God's chosen people.
All right.
What do you know about the Aztecs in history?
I know like it was like a big warrior type group.
You said what?
It was like a big warrior type group.
That's right. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 32, like 12 and 32. So the Aztecs, the Mexicans, in the Bible are also known for being warriors.
Right.
Not just warriors, but kings as well. We Judges chapter 10 and verse number 1. You got that already?
It's the book of 1 Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32.
Bring it out.
And real quick, brother, wait, real quick, hold on, real quick, just one verse. And again, as we're reading about the so-called Mexicans, the Lord calls them the Issacharites in the Bible.
Right.
So we read about Issachar, you're reading about the history of the so-called Mexicans. I got 2 verses before you pull off. Read this.
1 Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32.
Bring it out.
And of the children of Issachar.
Now, the who?
And of the children of Issachar.
Of your ancestors, the children of Issachar, so-called Mexicans. You know?
Which were men that had understanding of the times.
Right.
To know what Israel ought to do.
Right.
The heads of them were 200. And all their brethren were at their commandment.
Right, so when you read about the so-called Mexicans, in the Bible, they were the head of the tribes when it was time to go to war.
Right.
Why? Because again, you guys are warlike people. You guys were able to read the stars and discern when the Most High was telling y'all, when the Most High told y'all it was able for us to go to war in these different things. Not only that, but again, you were kings. Can you name one king that's a Mexican back in the ancient world? You can't. Now, why is that? Even if you're trying to peel off, you can't name one king that you have, brother. All right, we're going to read about one of your kings. Let's get Judges 10 and 1 before you peel off. And let's get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13.
It's the book of Judges, chapter 10 and verse number 1.
Bring it out.
And it reads,
Yeah, brother, this is history that they're not going to teach you in school. Out the Bible. Has your history teacher ever went into the Bible and proved that you're God's chosen people? No. So, I mean, this would be very wise for you to take these last 2 precepts into consideration and think upon your history. Let's read it.
it's Judges 10 and 1.
Bring it out.
And after Abimelech, there arose to defend Israel Tola, the son of Puah, the son of Dodo, a man of Issachar. And he dwelt in Shamir and Mount Ephraim.
Right? So you had a ruler of the man of Issachar who ruled Israel at the time.
Right.
All right, brother. So you would be an Israelite according to the Bible. You wouldn't be a Mexican. You wouldn't be an Aztec. The Lord called you an Israelite. So take that flyer and look into it. All right, brother. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High.
Right.
Let's get 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse number 2. You can drop that in Ecclesiastes 12. Let's get 1 Corinthians 3 and verse number 2.
Look,
All right, so you got Saint trying to just take away the word. Can't get 3 precepts off without someone just damn calling. Here it is, you walk down this long strip. No one called you the whole time. Then when you get in front of the service, all of a sudden your phone going off. People want to make haste. Right? It's Friday night. What are you doing on a Friday night? You walking, you're not going nowhere. So this is the best time for you to words of the Most High. Let's read this.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
I have fed you with milk and not with meat.
Right.
For heretofore ye were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able.
Right.
For ye are yet carnal. For whereas there is among you envying and strife and division, and are ye not carnal and walk as men? Verse number 6. Have I planted, Apollo water, but God gave the increase.
Right, so Lord willing, after we plant that seed, the Most High get an increase.
Right.
All right, let's get Matthew 13 and verse number 2. Let's get Matthew 13 and verse number 2. And again, we're spiritual husbandmen. We're spiritual husbandmen in the Lord's vineyard. Give me Songs of Solomon, chapter 2. And actually give me Songs of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse number 1. And if you're so-called black or Hispanic, hey brother, Hispanic, Hermano. All right, let's read this. So again, if you're so-called black and Hispanic, this is the perfect time for you to come back to your God before all hell breaks loose. So let's read this.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse number 2. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside.
Right, and spiritually, we're those sowers on one fold. And another fold were also the seeds. Because the Lord planted us in this vineyard. So read on. So the sower went forth to sow. Read on.
And the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth.
Right.
And forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth.
Right.
And when the sun was up, they were scorched. And because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them.
Right. So you have certain amount of you have three different types of so-called Israelites, or 3 different ways how a seed can go, for lack of a better term. It's either that you got that one seed you planted, and you plant it in terrible soil. Next thing you know, that seed don't grow up. You got another one where you plant it and it may grow, but it grow up in thorns, and it get choked up by the roots. And now that tree or that seed, that plant, that doesn't become profitable because it can't bring forth fruit.
Right.
And as you read these different parables that the Lord brings forth in the Gospels, you want to be able to take heed and self-examine and see what type of fruit you're bearing, what type of tree you are. All right, God forbid you're a tree like the so-called white man or the white woman.
Right.
And you just all into idolatry. You always studying Alexander the Great. You're getting off on the history of the so-called white man. You don't know about your own history, but you study everybody else's history. Hermano, Umunuko. And again, you just freaking off on everybody else's history. You can't name 3 kings, but yet you know Esau damn whole lineage. You know about the Persians, right? You know about the Scythians and these different. You got so-called scholars, right? You got these so-called scholars in these colleges. They going through all these different histories, going into the dates and these different things. You got Jake that's a part of it, but Jake can't name 3 of his own kings.
Right.
That's off. God forbid you know everybody else's history but your own. And again, that goes back to Matthew the 13th chapter and these different seeds. So whatever seed you are, you want to make sure that you're planted within that right soil, within the spirit of your Yahushua. that you may grow to bring that strong, that you may grow up to be that strong tree through the Spirit. All right, that a spiritual palm tree, a spiritual cedar tree from Lebanon. So read on.
Reading on. It reads, verse 7, verse 8. But other fell into the good ground and brought forth fruit, some an 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold.
Right, and you want to be that one that grows up to 100-fold, 60 or 30-fold.
Right.
Hey, sisters. Y'all need help? Y'all need help? They got 1 minute for the Lord? One verse.
Come on, sisters.
One verse, sisters. On a beautiful Friday night. Give you the damn side eye.
Obadiah.
And again, you don't want to be those type of seeds. You plant the seed and that seed just wither away. Then bird came and ate it up. Satan came and devoured the word. So let's read this. What you got?
That's the book, the Songs of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Right.
The Song of Songs, which is Solomon.
Just walking proud. And that's what the so-called white man got to be destroyed in the last day.
Right.
Just walking with his arms just swinging. A damn goofball. Yeah, just walking like a goofball. Read this.
Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth.
Right.
For thy love is better than wine, because of the savor of thy good ointment.
Song of Solomon 3 and 1, maybe 3 and 1.
Songs of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 1. By night on my bed I saw him, whom my soul loved. I sought him, but I found him not.
Right.
I will rise now and go about the city, in the streets, and in the broad ways. I will seek him,
Right.
whom my soul loved. I sought him, but I found him not. The watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, saw ye him, whom my soul loveth?
Go to chapter 2 and start at verse 1.
Songs of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Right.
I am the rose of Sharon, and the lily of the valleys. As the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters.
Right. It said, as the lily among thorns, so is my love above what?
So is my love among the daughters.
Among the daughters, man. So in this truth, you want to make sure that you're that lily. You're that fine flower.
Right.
Give me the classic, second Esdras 5 and verse 22. All right, you want to be the Lord's favorite in this thing. All right, you don't want to be you don't want to be just an average Joe in this truth either. You know, he said amongst the valley, he said he was as a rose that grew up amongst the thorns, as a lily. And again, this thing, you want to be that lily, the Lord's favorite flower. All right, you don't want to be just a withered away piece of dead grass in the Lord's vineyard. All right, God forbid you're just a damn apple, right? A rotten apple. No, in this truth, you want to be able to bring forth and bear fruit, right? Bear the leaves, bear the things that's profitable for the ministry,
Right.
and for the name of the Most High. So let's read.
It's the book of second Esdras, chapter 5 and verse 24.
Bring it out.
And of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof, one lily.
One what?
One lily.
You want to be that lily in this thing.
Right.
All right, you want to be that one lily that the Most High looks upon them.
Right.
Hey, brothers, y'all got 1 minute? And sister, y'all see yourself in the sound?
2 minutes.
For one verse. One verse out of the Bible.
Never heard it before.
Brother and sister,
Never heard this.
one verse.
One verse.
Come back, brother.
Never heard this before.
Come on, brother, you already stopped. We selling it for free.
Free.
Can't do this. See that? That's Jake. Jake just want to be all tough and cool, man. I saw Jake look forward to being his life. Just want to be the toughest. Want to mud, side eye, you know. But that's our people.
Right.
That's why we out here. To let them know that it's comfort in the end. In this Galatians chapter 6 and verse number 9.
Get out.
Right? We have hope in our latter end. And let's get Hebrews chapter 4 and verse number 1. Hebrews chapter 4 verse number 1. Now let's get Psalms chapter 58 and the last verse. The Lord has promises set up for his chosen, for his elect, for the ones that can endure to the very end. You speak English? Let's read this.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6, and verse number 1.
Bring it out.
Verse 9. And let us not be weary in well-doing.
Right.
For in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Right, and this precept never gets old. The Lord said in due season you will reap if you faint not. Right. So the Lord has benefits at the end of this ministry, man. And you got Jake in the world. All they think this world is about is just sex, drugs, and money, and wickedness.
Right.
Not even knowing that it's a kingdom promised to only him and his people. And there's no other beautiful thing than that. Hearing that it's a kingdom and a rulership that's only made for you and your people. And this mindset, this process is not being pushed throughout Babylon the Great. All right, Babylon the Great is just programming our people about the same thing: sex, drugs, money, and death. Hey, brother, I got a question. What is your hope in your latter end?
Say that again?
What hope do you have in the future?
Go see God.
To see God.
Yes, sir.
How do you do that?
Live a clean life. Live to my fullest. That's it.
Love to see your fullest. So you believe in the Bible?
All day, every day.
All day, every day. Now, if I was to ask you your nationality or your race according to the Bible, what would it be?
African American.
Well, the problem with that is the Lord never called anyone African American in the Bible.
Right.
So according to the Bible, what would the Lord have called you? Let's say we were during the time of Genesis. The Lord is in
Mennonite.
Or what?
What were Mennonites?
No,
No, what were
no, not a Midianite. We will actually be the Israelites.
Right.
Israelites.
That's the word I was looking for.
Israelites.
I knew it was something like.
Yeah, gotta be in there somewhere.
Yeah, I was close.
So, what's the difference between a Midianite and the Israelites? I'll ask.
That I don't know.
Let's get Deuteronomy 7 and 6. I'm gonna show you real quick.
All right.
So it's a very big difference between not just the Midianites and the Israelites, but with the Israelites and every other race.
Right.
Let's get Deuteronomy 14 verse 1 and 2. The Lord said the Israelites were a separate people, above every other people.
Yeah.
The Lord doesn't deal with everyone being equal, believe it or not. I know in this society they teach everyone's equal, God loves everyone equally 100%, it is what it is. But the Lord out the Bible says something different. I'm going to show you this. Let's read it.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
Right.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
So the Lord said he chose thee. This is Moses talking to the Israelites in the book of Deuteronomy after he delivered them out of Egypt. If the Lord loved everybody, why would he destroy the Egyptians the way he did?
Right.
He could have just had Pharaoh say no or say yes, and they could have easily walked out. But the Lord, he hardened Pharaoh's heart to where he had to bring that type of judgment upon the Egyptians so he can glorify his name and show how much he loves his people.
Right.
So read that again.
It reads, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Special people unto himself. Now let's see if these special people are average. You know?
Above all people.
No, equal.
Above all people.
Average.
Above all people.
So according to the Bible, the Israelites are above all people. You know?
That are upon the face of the earth.
So every nation that walks upon this earth, whether it was during the time of Moses or all the way in 2024, the Lord has a special people, the Israelites. And another verse, he calls them a peculiar people. And again, that would be us. So as the Israelites, brother, why do we go from being perfect, upright in the eyes of the Lord to slaves in America? How did that happen?
Not sure.
Let's get Deuteronomy 28. So, and again, you said you read the Bible before, right?
Oh, yeah. My
So-
grandfather's a preacher.
He's a preacher. That's good. So,
I got 2 more minutes. I got a crew waiting. So.
okay, I got you. I'll make it
All
quick.
right.
So the Israelites, our people, our ancestors, we broke God's laws. We made a covenant with God, and we broke that covenant. The Lord told the Israelites He's going to send them into slavery again with ships if the Israelites don't hearken unto His word, if we break His commandments. Let's get verse 15.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse number 15.
Yeah.
It reads, But it shall come to pass, if thou would not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
If the Israelites, the so-called black and Hispanic and Native Americans, do not listen to God. You know?
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And you got something that's called generational curses. When you hear that label, generational curses, which race is it placed upon? Us. Now the Lord out the Bible said he's going to send curses upon our people. Jump to verse 48. We're going to see how long these curses are going to be upon us.
Verse 48.
Go ahead, I'll
Verse
catch you up.
47. Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So these curses are going to be upon us for a sign and a wonder, and upon the Israelites forever.
Right.
So whoever the Israelites are, their signs to let you know that they are my people is that they're going to be going through curses.
Right.
Now, curses is a bad thing. It's not love and giggles. You got these different movies. When you place a curse upon someone, they jammed up for a long time.
Yeah.
The Lord's going to jam us up for a very long time if we break his laws.
Right.
Go to verse 68. That's the point.
Verse 68.
Read it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
The Lord said if the Israelites break his commandments, it's going to send them back into Egypt. Now, if I was to ask you, the Israelites, when you read the Bible, did they go back into Egypt as a nation? No. So Egypt, when you read the Bible, it represents captivity or slavery.
Right.
That's why every time they go astray, you hear the Lord tell them, I'm going to send you back into Egypt. But what happened? They went into Babylon. They went into the Medo-Persian Empire.
Right.
They went into slavery under the Greeks.
Right.
But the Lord called it Egypt because Egypt represents slavery.
Right.
So read on. I'm going to send you into Egypt or slavery again. Read on.
It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
When we get to America?
With ships.
So the Lord says he's going to send the Israelites into slavery or Egypt again with ships.
Right.
What nation of people went into slavery by way of slave ships? Us. We did. And that's history that's documented. But Moses spoke of that years before it happened. And that's what you call prophecy.
Right. Yes.
That's what and that's something that the Christian pastor is not going to bring out, or in the school system. When you read this Bible, it's actually black history.
Correct.
People like to say, well, this is a book of religion. It's a book of anyone can just lay their hands on it and just read it, and it relates to everything. And we just read so-called black history within less than 5 minutes, within one book, within one chapter. How much more the rest of the book? So I know you said you're on the way, brother. I got 3 more verses before you pull off. And when you read that verse right there, when it said Israel were going back to slavery by way of slave ships, you said that happened to us, right?
Yep.
So by default, who will we be according to the Bible?
What do you mean?
If the Lord said that slavery on ships will happen to the Israelites,
Yeah.
and if it happened to us, then who will we be according to the Bible? What would be our nationality?
Israelites.
The Israelites.
Right.
That's simple.
Yeah.
You know, it's more to it though.
It reads, by the whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
So, and when you get to this destination, you're going to be sold unto your enemies. After you get off the slave ships, the Lord says going to be enemies ready to buy you. What enemies is that talking about? What race?
You know what, right?
Well, I mean, not. I want you to say what race.
The white race.
So-called white race.
Right.
So-called white men sold us. But the Lord called them your what? Your enemies.
Right.
That's right.
So can you be friends with your enemy?
No.
You can't.
If you're your enemy.
If he's your enemy, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's the story.
Right? Read on.
It reads, for bondmen and for bondwomen,
A slave man and slave woman were your enemy's possession. Read on.
and no man shall buy you.
And that word bind, when you go into the Hebrew, means redeem. No man, when you get to this place, this landmass will be able to redeem you from your slavery.
Right.
That's why in 2024, we're still here today.
Right.
How come we didn't go back to so-called Africa a long time ago?
Right. Can't really.
We can't. Why? Because the Lord prophesied it.
Yeah. This
And
is where we're supposed to be.
Well, not really. The original's been our homeland.
If he punished us,
Yeah, on that part, you're right.
that's it.
So, how do we get back home? That's the real question. How do we get back home? Don't you want to go home?
$1 million question.
$1 million question. How does the so-called black and Hispanic man go back home?
Not sure.
Let's get Matthew chapter 19. Now, verse
Last
number
one, but I
16.
got to bounce.
All right, it's the last one. Matthew 19 and 16. So So again, brother, you will be an Israelite according to the Bible.
Right.
The only way you can go home is by keeping God's commandments.
Right.
Let's read this.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse number 16.
Bring it out.
And it reads,
Matthew 19 and verse 16.
Bring it out.
And behold, one cometh and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life?
Right, so this is a man coming up to Christ. How do I get the kingdom of heaven? Go back to Jerusalem. Go back to my homeland. You know?
And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one,
Right.
that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the
The
commandments.
Lord said,
Keep the
you
commandments.
get the kingdom.
Keep the commandments.
So according to the Bible, if you do want to go home and get everlasting life, back to your homeland,
Right.
the Lord said, keep the commandments.
Yep.
You keep God's commandments?
I do my best.
What's some commandments that you try to keep?
Let's see. Love thy neighbor.
Okay. All right.
That's
That's it.
that's one of the main ones, because if you love thy neighbor, you love everybody. That's,
Well,
the way
not
I look,
necessarily.
that's the way I look at it.
Well, your neighbor will be the people of your own kindred, according to the
Right.
Bible.
Okay.
So we will be your neighbor.
Right.
So everyone on that side will be your neighbor.
Yeah.
Right? According to the Bible, the Chinese man is not your neighbor.
Right.
Your enemy, like how we read in the book of Deuteronomy, the so-called white man, he's not your neighbor.
Right.
But according to the Bible, what the Lord said, he will be your enemy.
Right.
Why do you think all this happened to us? You think just because it's just a coincidence? This is what an enemy would do to you.
Wake them up.
Your enemy will give you this image right there and tell you to worship him.
Right.
And say, that's Christ. Worship him. And subconsciously worship me.
Man.
Because when we think of that man, we think the white man is God. Only an enemy would deceive your mind like that.
Right.
So we will be your brothers and your neighbors according to the Bible. Now, you quoted that out the so-called, well, it's out the book of Leviticus, but you have the 10 Commandments.
Yep.
And outside of the 10 Commandments, you have more commandments, like fringes, growing out your beard. That's a commandment. As an Israelite man, you got to grow out your beard.
Correct.
All right, you got commandments like not eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and these different things. So I know you said you want to go, brother. We got another starter pack? Or no?
I give them five.
All right, well, you got
I
a
got
fire,
one.
right?
Yep.
All right, so
Okay.
before you leave, brother, what's 3 things that you learned up here?
Let's see. Today I learned that we did get punished. Now, part of our punishment was to come here to this country.
Right.
To share this.
That's right.
Right. And the best way for us to get back home is we gotta, basically, I'm not gonna say love thy neighbor, but
Well,
we gotta
keep the what?
keep the faith, really.
Keep the faith and
Yeah.
keep the start with a C.
Keep the commandments.
Commandments.
Right.
Faith and the commandments. That's
Yeah.
right, brother.
That's it.
And all right, and what's one more thing that you learned?
Somebody that I thought that in the Bible, when he refers to our enemy, who's that enemy?
That's right. So-called white man.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Now I got one more verse for you. I know you
All right.
said go back home. Where is your home?
Egypt. Exactly.
Egypt? Remember, we're the Israelites. So what land do we go back to?
Israel.
Israel.
Right.
That's right. Jerusalem, Israel.
Yeah.
The motherland, as they call it. So let's read this.
Galatians chapter 4 and 26.
Bring it out.
But Jerusalem, which
Oh, what?
But Jerusalem.
The Israel?
But Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, Israel, you know?
which is above is free,
Right.
which is the mother of us all.
What's the motherland?
Which is the mother of us all.
So Jerusalem is that true motherland.
Right.
That true land that the Lord signified to himself.
Right.
That holy land. That land of peace.
Yes.
Right, milk and honey, like the brother said. Y'all were watching.
Black and berry, sweet as the juice.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate what's up, man. All praise to the Most High.
Appreciate everything y'all
Look
doing.
into that flyer, King, all
I see
right?
my pocket, man. I appreciate that.
All praise to the Most High. Always remember, you're a king walking this earth, an Israelite.
All right, man.
All praise to the Most High. Right, and nigga, that's the whole reason why we out here.
Right.
All right, we not, you got people that think we out here just to debate, and that's it.
Right.
All right, nobody up here coming to debate, we not on camp. All right, we're not going to record unless someone coming up here to debate. We're not going to pick up the mic unless someone come up ready to scoff. No, our main job is to come up here and teach our people.
Right.
And there's no better joy to teaching our people the truth. Because again, this thing was here from ages, years. And the Lord finally has revealed in the last days. All right, let's go to, let's